Today on the newscast, a rocket barrage out of Gaza strikes southern Israel, and Israeli airstrikes shut down Aleppo airport in Syria. Get all the breaking details next. Hey folks, Erick Stakelbeck here. Welcome to the Watchman Newscast and welcome to New York City. I am here today interviewing Israel's ambassador to the UN, Gilad Erdan. Folks, talk about a tough job to represent Israel at the UN. It's going to be a great interview. You will see it here this week on the newscast, so stay tuned for that. In the meantime, hey, we've got breaking news today. A rocket barrage out of Gaza striking towns in southern Israel, including the town of Sderot. Now, this all started with the death earlier today of a Palestinian Islamic Jihad spokesman named Qadir Adnan. Now, he had been on a hunger strike for 86 days, and he finally died today. Again, he was a spokesman for a vicious Iran-backed terror group in Gaza known as Palestinian Islamic Jihad. Israeli officials were concerned that Islamic Jihad would seek vengeance, and that's exactly what they did today, along with other groups in Gaza, other terror groups, including Hamas. They have a joint operations room, so-called, and they engineered this rocket barrage in response to his death. Again, dozens of rockets, at least 25 at last count, folks, and some 7 Israeli civilians injured. Now, will this escalate? That's the big question right now. The last major barrage we saw out of Gaza, again, dozens of rockets, was a few weeks ago, and that came at a time when we had simultaneous rocket barrages against Israel out of Gaza, out of southern Lebanon, and out of Syria. Now, we'll break down a little bit more of the situation in Gaza. Plus, speaking of Syria, another Israeli airstrike. Now, yesterday we told you about that strike on the central Syrian city of Homs. Israel carried out yet another overnight, which has shut down Aleppo International Airport in northern Syria. A lot going on, folks, as you can see, in the world's most chaotic and strategic region, the Middle East. That's why we would love for you to subscribe to the Watchman News channel right here on YouTube and click the notification bell so you get alerts every time a new video is posted. Hey, with so much going on, you don't want to miss one of our daily commentaries, any of our daily commentaries. And we have an announcement today as well. By popular demand, we now have Watchman merch available. Now, you see the mug here on the desk, the Watchman with Erick Stakelbeck mug. We've also got t-shirts, hats, stickers, and hoodies coming soon. It's a fun way to show your support for the Watchman show, and also it helps to keep us going, helps to keep us on the air, your support. You can check out the Watchman merch at shop.tbn.org/Watchman. You see the URL on your screen. Again, it is shop.tbn.org/Watchman. Just in time for the summer, some very cool t-shirts and hats, and you can have your morning coffee in one of the Watchman mugs. We think you'll like it. We had a lot of fun designing it, putting it together, and again, it just shows your support for everything we are doing. And folks, we can't thank you enough for that support for such a time as this, because we are reporting the kinds of stories that you're just not hearing in the mainstream media, and one of them, in any kind of depth at least, and one of them is this overnight airstrike that Israel carried out against Aleppo International Airport. Now, you might say, how dare they? An airport, civilians transit through that airport. Yes, not as many as we once saw, obviously, before the Syrian civil war and before the Iranian regime essentially took control of Aleppo Airport and Damascus International Airport. But here's the deal. Iran has used Aleppo International Airport time and time again over the past several months to transit weapons. Now, for a time, many of them, the majority of them, were landing in Damascus at Damascus Airport. Then Israel finally said, we can't have this. And last June, they carried out serious airstrikes against that airport and shut it down for several days. And there have continued to be strikes in and around Damascus airport since then. But in the meantime, Iran has shifted its strategy. They're saying, okay, Israel is on to us, and what we're doing in Damascus, we'll shift further to the north, and we will use Aleppo International Airport. Well, Israel caught on to that game as well and has carried out strikes at that airport. Again, folks, it's unfortunate, but the Iranian regime is using these Syrian airports to transit weapons through that country into the hands of Hezbollah in southern Lebanon, in particular, parts for precision-guided missiles, PGMs for short. If you watch the Watchmen on a regular basis, you know the name. Those precision-guided missiles do exactly what their name says. They are designed to hit a target with greater accuracy and greater precision. Needless to say, for Israel, this is a red line, and that's why you see these continued strikes against these Iranian weapons shipments at Damascus many times, but also in Aleppo. And folks, the saddest part of this perhaps, and we talked about this on yesterday's newscast, and by the way, if you miss any of our newscast, you can just go to our archives homepage under newscast. You will find it right there. But we mentioned yesterday how Iran is sending these weapons shipments to Syria now under the guise of earthquake aid. You remember, obviously, that horrific earthquake that struck Turkey and northwestern Syria back in early February. Many nations are sending cargo planes filled with humanitarian and aid and medical supplies, and the Iranian regime has taken advantage of that. They're saying, hey, we're just shipping earthquake aid, but it is anything but. Cargo planes, according to the Israel Defense Forces, coming from Iran on a regular basis, carrying weapons, munitions, precision-guided missile parts, all of the above, and Israel is forced to take action. And it's interesting, folks, because in the immediate aftermath of that horrific earthquake in early February, Israel right away sounded the alarm, and they said, look, the Iranian regime is going to try to take advantage of that, and it's exactly what happened in the wake of that earthquake. So we're keeping a very close eye on what's going on in Syria. Clearly, Syria in many ways, and what's unfolding there. The shadow war that's not really in the shadows anymore between Israel and Iran and its proxies continues to unfold on a daily basis in Syria, folks. So we are watching that very closely. And of course, as we close, and as I mentioned at the top, what's happening in Gaza right now, really Hamas and Islamic Jihad, this joint operations room that they have. And it makes sense that two Iranian terror proxies would work closely together, right? With their united goal, their unifying goal of wiping Israel off the map. It continues to be a persistent thorn in Israel's side, and there's really no easy answer. But we have this periodically now, at least every month for the most part. We'll see rocket volleys out of Gaza, and sometimes the magnitude of those rockets is very great. Again, today, some 25 launched at southern Israel. This is no joke, folks. I've been in southern Israel, in particular in the town of Sderot. As the bomb sirens go off, and you have about 15 seconds to get to a bomb shelter, I have been inside of those bomb shelters. I can tell you it's not a pleasant experience what the brave people of southern Israel have to deal with. And by the way, Sderot, Ashkelon, these cities and towns in southern Israel are beautiful. A great quality of life, great weather, just a beautiful, beautiful place, that region of southern Israel. And yet they're dealing with the specter of Iran-backed terror on literally a daily basis. So folks, keep them in your prayers. Iron Dome, Israel's groundbreaking missile defense system, intercepted some of these rockets, but not all in this case. As I mentioned, 7 civilians injured. So keep the people of southern Israel in your prayers right now, please. We hope this doesn't escalate, but Israel will need to respond, of course, to defend its citizens. And that's the way it goes. Here in the United States, where I'm coming to you from, if there was a terror group in Mexico or Canada right across our borders bombarding Texas or Minnesota with rockets on a regular basis, I'm pretty sure the U.S. military would be compelled to respond. Well, that's a situation Israel finds itself in right now. So again, Keep the people of southern Israel in your prayers, and pray for wisdom for the leadership in Israel right now as they deal with this persistent threat. Quick programming note before we go: tomorrow, May 3rd, we'll have a Watchman Newscast live stream going live between 4 and 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Be sure to send along your questions for our Q&A session as well. It's going to be good. Check out the merch. Remember, hey, thanks so much for joining us here today in New York City. Until tomorrow, God bless you. And remember, never hold your peace. Hey everyone, thanks for checking out the Watchman Newscast. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so you never miss an upload, and tap the bell icon so you're notified every time a new video is posted. And don't forget to share your thoughts, insights, and comments below. Thanks for watching. We'll see you back here tomorrow.